is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves, the dynamic duo of Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. Hasn't worked so far, but what I will say is that they still has potential to be a decent team, depending on how well Karl Anthony Towns plays. He is the best player on his team. They have a new coach in Saunders' son. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to find out what they're trying to do, how they're going to try to do it. And they don't have the best talent. They don't have the best team. But they still do have enough to compete. And I think that this is going to be one of them teams that can really be scary depending on when you're playing them, if you get up for them, if you don't respect them. But if you do, they can be a quality team and they can be very competitive and make it tough on you. So, in my personal opinion, I think the biggest key for them is seeing what Andrew Wiggins is going to give them. This is a guy that came in as the Rookie of the Year, the rookie sophomore game MVP, averaged over 17 points. And then he also was able to average over 20 points a couple of times. Even though those times they didn't even come close to winning that many games, they're going to need somebody to really help Karl Anthony Towns out and make his job a lot easier, because he still is the most, dominant player on his team, but he cannot do it alone. Karl Anthony Towns was a beast the last couple of weeks at the end of the season, and they was winning some games, but he only can do so much. And with the NBA getting a lot tougher and teams getting a lot better, they're going to need a lot more from his team to really help balance out the load and make his job a lot easier and give them a legitimate chance to go out there and compete and win. But other than that, this team has really, has underperformed, and they only made it to the playoffs once. They made a trade to get Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler was a good piece for them, and that's why they made it to the playoffs. They was one of the better teams in the entire NBA when they're healthy, but they had to move on from that. But they also lost Dario Saric, so this is a team that continues to lose talent. I feel like Robert Covington is very important to this team, but he has had injury problems. If he can stay healthy, they got a decent starting lineup, and I think that you can't really count on him to be the hugest difference maker, but him giving them floor space and being able to get him a quality defender that can guard multiple positions, but also get out in transition, and also knowing his role and not trying to do more than that, and allowing the paint to be a lot more open for Karl Anthony Towns to go do work in the post, but also playing the pick and roll and get mid-range and threes. But not only that, Andrew Wiggins going to have to learn how to be a better spot-up shooter if he really wants to work it out with Towns. He's going to have to change and evolve his game so that way he can be able to complement Towns as a playmaker, as a floor spacer, but also that just make Towns' job a lot more easier when he got more threats around him that can really pick apart defenses, but also give him opportunities to play his game and not really have to worry too much about getting trapped and double teamed. And I think that that's very important, because those are defenses that allows Towns not to score, and you want him to be as dominant and as good as he can be, because that's your best chance of winning. Is Towns your most efficient and your best scorer to get quality shots, but also be able to get shots for his teammates and make their job a lot easier, so that way you can score points a lot easier. So, in my personal opinion, with them losing some bench pieces and them losing Jimmy Butler, I do not have this team making it to the playoffs. And I don't think too many people do, because they just lack talent They just don't. They lack the ability to really play defense too at a high level. You would think that with Covington, Wiggins, and Towns being great athletes and having great mobility, having great length for their positions, that they'd be able to be a great defensive team. Even though they did show potential to be one, I don't know if they can do it consistently, and I don't know if you can really rely on that as Achilles heel for this team, in my personal opinion, because I just don't believe it. And they do foul a lot, and they do make a lot of mental mistakes, which you need discipline to be a great defensive team, and you need an anchor to be a great defensive team. And right now, Towns has the body, the mobility, the athleticism, but he just don't have the basketball IQ, and he just don't have the discipline to be a great defender right now. But it could potentially happen, but I doubt that he ever become a great defender, in my personal opinion, because you gotta want it, you gotta really work hard on it, and you gotta really be locked in and focused. And I just don't think his focus be there to be a great defender. But what I will say is they do have the potential, and if it does happen, I wouldn't be as shocked. If they want to win games, they're going to really have to up it up on the defensive end, and they're going to really have to rely on Andrew Wiggins to be better offensively to really help Towns balance out scoring and give them somebody that can take attention off of him, but also somebody that can get their own. And I think that's very important because most teams have a duo, and they duo has been lackluster, but they do have potential as being young and being able to do multiple things offensively to be one of the better duos. They just haven't lived up to their potential, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, they're not the only team that went through this, and they're not the only team that has the same problem with their big two. So it's going to take a lot for this team to win games. It's going to take a lot to this team to really make a run at the playoffs. But then when you look at the rest of the roster, you got Jeff Teague, a guy that can probe, hit floaters, hit mid range, hit threes, keep the pressure on the defense. He isn't the same player that he used to be, but he still is a solid starter, and he is going to be a guy that they're going to have to rely on, as they don't really have any good backup point guards or any point guards that can make a difference. In my personal opinion, you also got Josh Okogie, another guy that you really want to rely on, but he's going to be necessary for this team to be successful because they don't really have any guards that can really make a big impact outside of Wiggins. And then you also have Jared Cover, a guy that's a rookie that can knock down threes, keep the ball moving with his passing, very unselfish, but he also do fit a certain role like Robert Covington, but he isn't the dynamic offensive player that Wiggins has potential to be. But he is also a better fit around Towns because of his three-point shooting and unselfishness. But the aggressiveness of Wiggins and his ability to create his own shot makes him a more valuable player for this team. Even though he does lack passing and defense, you need somebody that can get you a bucket, and Towns and Wiggins are the best on this team that can do that. I do think this team is going to struggle to be competitive, because I just don't see enough talent for them to legitimately have a shot of making it to the playoffs. But in my personal opinion, that's something that we knew after they lost Jimmy Butler. And even though they're going to go out there and compete and try to win as many games as they can, I just don't think realistically they have enough to win. And I just don't think, even in the future, if they don't get a high draft pick, this team is going to be a mediocre team in the future unless Wiggins really has a breakout season and Towns take his defensive game and offensive game and aggressiveness to another level. I think this team is going to basically be stuck in no man's land. Either they're going to get another guy that can develop, or either Towns and Wiggins are going to get traded because they ain't good enough for them, and they're not going to want to hang around playing with each other and not really doing nothing but getting paid. We all like to collect them checks, but losing and frustration doesn't go well together. And that can really be a recipe of destruction for this team. And in the future, either Towns or Wiggins are going to give up, or they're going to just be prepared to move on and go in a different direction. So, in my personal opinion, I think that if this team don't find that other piece, they're never going to win a title with this team, and they don't really have the cap space to make a move, and they really don't have the young talent, in my personal opinion, to make a big difference for this team in the future. Other than that, they're going to have to rely on getting a good draft pick from the draft and draft somebody that can be that third guy alongside Towns and Wiggins that has that superstar potential. Robert Covington, he's nice, but he's not going to help you win that many more games in the Western Conference. Wiggins has played mediocre. Towns has played the best. He's one of the best players in the world, but he's going to need a lot more help offensively and defensively if they really want to have a shot at being a playoff team in the Western Conference. If they was in the East, they probably have a chance. But since they're in the West, they have a long way to go to even become a playoff team, let alone a team that can win an NBA championship. Let me know what you guys think about this Minnesota Timberwolves team. Can they be better? Will they break up? Can they really be one of the best teams in the NBA? Can they be a playoff team this year in the Western Conference? Or do you think this team is going to be blown up in the next 2 years, as it's going to be annoying paying Wiggins and Towns money when they haven't been able to be compatible and they haven't really contributed to winning the last couple years, outside of the 1 year they had Jimmy Butler for that season. But other than that, this team is alright. But at the same time, it's better to be bad than being alright because they missing a piece. And if you don't get that piece, this whole experiment will be a failure. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.